It is Tuesday, the 31st of May, officially the last day of the month. And it just so happens that today is our showcase day for the Custom Built Decor Challenge, otherwise known as the CBDC. Let me tweet real quick before I forget. And get that sorted. I think that went through. I hope so. Anyway, we've got a lot of places to visit today. Thankfully, there was plenty of entries this month, a lot more than we had the first month, which is great. They are spread out over both regions and both factions, so we're going to be doing some hopping around. So pardon for the be right back that we'll be putting up intermittently as I switch over during that. We're starting out on NA side, on Dominion faction. We have one entry from there. And the reason I'm kind of waiting is usually I kind of like check to see if people are actually seeing this before I get started. I think it's because of the last time we had some trouble. I went for nearly 20 minutes without realizing that the show wasn't actually streaming as it was telling me it was. So I just kind of paused a little bit to make sure it's all in order. Good morning, Bones. Glad you could join us, and glad anybody else that happens to be lurking around is able to join. But so yeah, for those of you that don't know, this is a monthly challenge I started issuing. This will be our second month officially that I opened it up to others outside my guild. Morning, Z. And basically what it is, it's a custom built decor challenge. It's I give a theme, and builders are invited to build whatever they want that they feel suits the theme, that fits the theme. There's no time limit other than you have till the end of the month. I give the theme at the beginning of the month, and you have it till the end of the month, because at the end of the month is when I do the showcase, and then we move on to a new theme. All right, Bones. Well, hopefully you get to watch some of it. If nothing else, you can come back and check it out after your meeting. Anyway, there's no restrictions as far as what kind of items you can use. If you want to give your own self some stricter guidelines as far as you only want to build from the housing vendor materials, that's up to you. But I try to keep it as loose and manageable, that more, to encourage more people to participate. If I give too many restrictions or make the theme too narrow, I fear that it will kind of deter certain builders from attempting it, because the idea really is to encourage more people to give it a try. We have a lot of builders that have a knack for certain aspects of building, be it landscaping or architecture or whatever. And sometimes these challenges just might, get them outside their comfort zone. And it's always good to kind of break out of your normal routines. It's just like with guild events. If you constantly do dungeon nights and raid nights and PvP duel nights and things like that, it's always nice to kind of throw in some kind of an oddball activity to kind of break up that monotony. And that's kind of what these are meant to be. It's just something to get you out of your normal day-to-day building routines. Encourage you to try different things, to experiment with objects, to think outside the box, and to just show even more, and in a special way, those that aren't into housing yet or that are thinking about getting into it, just all the possibilities that there are. So thankfully we have a lot of ambitious builders that have taken up the call. for this month's theme, which again is games. I told them it could be anything from arcade games to lawn games, board games, casino games, whatever they wanted, as long as it had something to do with games. And they have not disappointed. I kind of went through everyone's plot this morning just to kind of reassure myself that I could find their little builds. Because remember, we're not touring the entire plot. We're just hunting down these small little mini builds that they've got that are geared toward this. I say that, and there are a couple of places we're going to be visiting today that we're actually going to tour tomorrow. But today's not about the plots, it's about the mini builds. Good morning, everybody. Poi, Faye, Maddie, everyone. Glad you guys could join us. So again, we're starting on Dominion side on Entity. And this is, let me pull up the list here. This is Octavia Devious. It's an alt of Zodi's. And we're here to look at the badminton. And let me just slow my little hamster down here. The badminton and the lawn darts. So here we have the badminton. And you can tell it's one of the things, it's like the evil thing of builders is the rendering, how certain objects, depending on their size, sometimes it can be the same size, same type of item, and one will disappear and the other won't. But you can see how that it's a little annoying at how it disappears at a certain distance. Certain details just don't show up. It makes for troublesome efforts when someone wants to make a nice screenshot. You just kind of have to learn to work around that. But here's the badminton set, so you can see that they've put up a little net using, I believe, the new floor grading from the what is it, the Soul Frost vendor from Arcterra. It's a really nifty little item. You can see it's basically paper thin. There's like nothing there unless you're looking at it from straight on. And then it becomes a little bit more solid looking. Even from the side, it kind of disappears. It's so thin. But it's a really nice item for those that have been looking for some kind of like a trellis type of material. Great for screen windows, chicken coops, whatever you think you might want to build. I don't know how many pieces it took. I imagine 3 or 4 probably to get all the way across, just based on the size that they use. It comes in a square format, so it's probably 3 or 4. For the poles for the net, it looks to be sparking wires with the sparking part down in the ground, so you don't see that bit. Notice the netting does have collision. You can't actually go through the netting, unlike the chains. Now I say the chains, I'm talking about the hanging chains from the housing vendor. Those have absolutely no collision. So if you're using them as chains to either, to walk along or to use as railing, they don't work. I mean, they look nice, but you can just go right through them. And one thing probably folks are happy about is this actually has some collision to it. You can't actually go through it. Then you have, if you kind of zoom in, if I can get past my little hamster here, you can see that they've got the, what's that thing called? Is that called the birdie? I think it's called a birdie. Looks to be swords for the little, I don't know, the squishy net bit on the back, and then a sporty sphere as the actual ball of it. And then for the paddles, or the rackets, I guess, it's again using that netting, the metal grate floor for the mesh. It looks to be those new Osun chain links. You can get like a whole chain link, and then you can get like the individual links. And this looks to be a couple of the individual links. And then Cassian pillars for the handles. I think that's called a birdie, though. I'm not really sure. I've only played badminton a few times in my entire life, and I don't really know the terminology, but I think it's called a birdie. So that's one entry from Zodi, and then the other one is the lawn darts game over here. So you can see they actually use the playing darts that are actually in game. We have those, and then they made some rings using, I guess it'd be the tubes. It could be hollow domes as well. Either or will work. Based on how they've used it here, but it looks like different versions. Like this one looks like an Exile one, and this one looks more like a Cassie one, just based off of the coloring of the edges, just to give some indication of, you know, bullseye is more points if you get it in here. It's fewer points and fewer points if you get it within that one. So yeah, really fun little ideas. You know, for those that's looking for something, you know, a lot of builders build the home residence, but then they have virtually nothing but maybe lots of trees and things on their property. Some go to the extent of adding gardens and you know, natural formations like caves and little mountains and things like that. But if you're looking for a more I don't know, more ideas, you know, rather than always just resorting to, you know, the outdoor grill or the playground. You want some interesting little bits. These kind of little outdoor setups are fun. I've seen a few set up like little soccer nets. I've seen some tennis courts. I came across one basketball court way back when. Things like that. So it's dual layered if you make it big enough. Are you talking about the? Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I think. Anyway, that is Zodi's two entries on Dominion side, and I'll be including the names of the characters in the description of the video for anyone that might want to come and visit. But this is on entity side. Dominion faction. So we're going to switch real quick to Exile side. I'm hoping I don't have any problems with getting into the plots, because it always makes me nervous when switching, because it kind of works things up, but we'll see. So the first one we're going to visit is Poi's exile character, Rosie Summer. Now there is one that's by a similar moniker on Jabbit, but it's spelt slightly different, so don't get those two confused. But this is Rosie Summer, and we're looking for three particular things. There's apparently a giant chessboard, volleyball, and a battleship. So, oh, I'm supposed to turn right here. Poi said follow the purple bushes, so I'm following the purple bushes. And here we go. Ah yes, that's kind of hard to miss the chessboard there. So from what I understand, they do have a little bit of issue of some of the NPCs resizing themselves. Apparently they've been kind of sized down for use on this board. And every now and then a few of them will suddenly go poop and turn a little bigger. But it looks like, at least for this, it looks to me like they're okay. So it's a variety. It's a good way of showcasing all of the NPCs you've managed to collect if you set some up. This is like some of the new snow versions of NPCs, the Lop. You've got the, what were they called? I can't remember the name. It's like, I don't know, the little prim and proper guys. We got a bunch of those. I don't know what these are. I think these are from the Dungeon Chase event. I don't know half of these because I really don't. I'm not a big collector of NPCs because I'm afraid I might get a little addicted to them. But you can see they're using like the Orin as the pawns on this side, and then on this side it's the Chua. It just looks so ridiculous. Using some of the simulated bits as well from the, I guess it'd be the Sim Chase. I have no idea. Oh, you size them up, but two of them keep resetting to shrink. Well, I guess these two are the two that keep resetting. These two here, because they look a little shorter than the rest. That's what I suspect. As far as the chessboard itself, I really couldn't tell you what they might be using here. It looks like metal edge 2x4s for the trim. I suspect gear trophies for the white, and I don't know. I don't know what's for the black. Is it like one giant? Is it like one giant gear trophy and then just the black parts are added in, or is it one giant black square with the trophies added in? It seems kind of counterintuitive to put like individual blocks for each one, because that's just more decor. Okay, so the gear trophies for the white, and then probably bigger sized travel posters for the grayish black. It's a really nice effect. It makes it good for a diner's floor, you know, one of those 50s diners. Good for a kitchen flooring, I think. Notice Poi added in spectator bleachers as well. Yeah, it's a fun idea. I guess this is supposed to be like the scoreboard up here, that ever traitorous screen. I'll probably regret not getting some of those when I have the chance, but oh well. All separate squares. Wow. Okay, I see the line there. Kind of hard to see. Let me back up a little bit. I think that screen is messing with the camera. Yeah, you can see the line. Wow. That's just crazy. I would have like used one big one of one or the other and then just laid in the squares. That would have saved you some decor count. Still, looks really nice. I like it. I just like the pattern, really. It's kind of mesmerizing looking. Okay, so that's the lawn chest. Where's the... Yeah, I imagine it did, boy. Let's see. I think this is the battleship game. Yeah. Look at the little ships. That's funny. So we've got a couple of, I guess that's the Exile tactical table for the main setup. For the ships, it looks like Poi's using the upside down purple rock arch. What's for the little, it looks like Merg Dynamite for the markers. That's pretty funny. It's a little hard to look at though, because that thing goes so bright. But it's a clever use of those tables, being able to get the mapping and everything working. I like that. I love that some of the games you guys have come up with, I thought about doing, and I thought, no, I'm just gonna, leave it. Especially, I think it was Maddie that put one together that I was specifically thinking about putting on the sidewalk of my bakery plot, and I decided against it. I'm glad, because hers looks really fantastic looking. So here we have the, I guess this would be the volleyball area here. Now notice here, this is a perfect example of how two people wanted to make some kind of a netting, and they took two different approaches to it. while the grading, the floor grading, probably looks more appealing to many, it may not be accessible to everyone, and this just shows that even having limited access to decor, you can come up with alternatives that are much more affordable, one, and more easily obtainable. This is just a ladder straight off of the housing vendor, and I love that. I love folks approaching the same, not problem, but the same concept in different directions. It just emphasizes the fact that, I hear people complain about how we don't have as much access to housing decor as we should or could. And it just makes me chuckle because, yes, it's kind of a hamper to those that want those specific items or feel like they have to have them, but this is just a good example of you can still do a fun build without all of that hard to get rare decor. I love this kind of stuff because I don't know, it just hits home even more that you don't have to have deep pockets or that level 50. A level 14 character could put this together and be happy. And I love that. Are you talking about like the little oh, what do you call it? The models? The toy models of like the spaceships? Yeah, I guess they're probably showing up more because, well, as people come in and start getting their boom boxes and stuff, um, and now that they're not soulbound anymore, I think. Now the ships that you get from the ship hands, as far as I know, they're still soulbound because I still sell mine to the vendor because I got so many and I don't use them. It's just kind of wasted space. But that's good to know. I'll have to keep an eye out because I think there's a couple of models I'm missing. Anyway, for the pillars here, they're pillars, the granite version, and then the sporty sphere. If you don't want the sporty sphere, we do have the domes. You could just sandwich two domes together and make a sphere out of that. I know there's like a protostar bomb that you could probably just sink the little end into it, the little part that sticks out, and that looks like a little bit of a ball. There's also the tall files you could use. It's a little bit shinier, I think, but if you sink the long end into it, it makes a decent ball. A lot of people use those for their pool tables. Because not everybody can afford multiples of the sporty sphere, since that one is for renown, I believe. I don't remember how much off the top of my head, but yeah. So there we have the battleship, the volleyball game, and the lawn chess. I don't know how to play chess. I've seen somebody tweeting about how they're learning how to play chess. Respect to that because the game never really made sense to me. I think the closest I got to playing chess was in World of Warcraft with, what is it, Karazhan, where they had the big chess game where you had to play and of course the boss cheated or something. That's about as close as I've ever come. I'm more of a checkers person. And even then I'm not very good at it. Okay, so that is Rosie Summer, Exile Side on Entity, aka Poi. So the next one, and it'll be our last one for Entity Side, is another from Zodi. $500 renown for the ball. Yeah, see, if you have to have really a lot of those, that adds up really fast, and not a lot of people want to spend that much. Yeah, he does. He like, I don't know, puts up these little poofs of something and it like kills your dudes and it's just nasty, or he moves his a little strange or doesn't follow the guidelines or whatever. Okay, I'm looking for the Quidditch field and arcade games. So I assume the Quidditch field is outside here. Oh my. I think this is it here. Good grief. Talk about a labyrinth. We got the spectator stands even. And look at that. That's just nuts. So anyone that's a Harry Potter fan, I know we've had a few that's done like Hogwarts, um, but look at that. Amazing Quidditch field. So let's talk about some of the construction here. It looks like mostly hover park pieces for most of the seating, the stairs, the ramps, um, the building construction here. I think these are either light posts or lamps or something from the Ichthian style with the new, not the cornerstone, but the circular bits of the new ice rock blocks or ice blocks or whatever they're called. They look like powdered donuts. Let's see. Oran arches and walls for some of this. Wow, they've even got the little locker rooms here with the mops being used as the brooms. That's pretty fun. Out here, I suspect it's Oran walls again being used as the trim. We saw that done with Katia's wild ball field using various edges of walls and floors and such to create that outline for the field. And I assume this is the little locker box that holds all the little gadgets, like I don't know the names of the things. I've watched Harry Potter movies, but I don't know. What's the little flying thing? The golden snitch or something? Or what's it called? I don't know. I guess that's what the little vent plushie is supposed to be. And this is like the ball that they throw around, the blocker ball. I don't know. I have no idea what they're called. I like the little the bats or whatever these are. I'm trying to see what that is. It's kind of hard to see because of the lighting here. It looks like the top ends, the handles of the pointy Draken spears. That's what it looks like to me. Is that what it's called? It is called a snitch. I said that and then I thought maybe that's not the word. I wasn't sure. But yeah, I think these are the handles of the pointy Draken spears, and they've just sunk the spear part down, and all you see is the handle. So it has all those spikes and looks really nice. I don't know, like a, what do you call them? A bludgeon thingy? I don't. It's probably just making Harry Potter fans cringe right now, but I have no idea. But yeah, I think this is the little locker box for all of the materials that they use for the game. I hate that my timing is putting the light so poorly here. Those are the gear lamps, which I hate that they'll have an item that counts towards your lighting, but it doesn't really give off any light that I can tell. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can tell, it glows a little bit, but it doesn't really light up the room. You know, I tried using that in another build, and it just didn't seem to do that. These look like books. along the edge here, because that looks like the blue book, and this one the yellow one. I don't know what, I really don't remember what the Quidditch field looked like, if there was like different colorings or something. But I guess this is the opposing team's locker room here. Yep. And let me go back out. If you're wondering about the floor, that's the underside of, I believe it's the, oh, what's it called? The cellar entrance. It has that nice, beautiful streaked pattern on the back, as if they just said, we're not going to finish it and make it look like a real stone bottom. It's just going to be these textures streaked across. A lot of people have been using that. It's really a nice, nice item. Okay, let me go back up here again. So we've got the judges' platform over here. A little scoreboard, I guess, is what this is. And markings for the different teams. I like how they're using the the hazard cone as like the speaker bit. Notice the attachment for that is a beer can, which is strange. For the scoreboard bit, those of course are the new streamers, is the Exile and the Dominion version, and they've just got the streamer part stuck inside, so all you see is this little bit here. The scoreboard itself looks to be a combination of, well, the backing is of course the Hugel portrait, then you've got 3 plates, and for the numbers, this one is a pillar, it looks like. And this one is the edge of a bowl to make the 0. So it's 0 to 10, it looks like. Mostly, again, hover part pieces, but right in here is that new floor metal grate thing that you get straight off the housing vendor. It's a really pretty item. It's got some nice textures on the edges. It's got the nice honeycomb pattern on the top. And then, of course, the back side is that solid grayish black. I love it for sidewalks and such. Yeah, it would. You know, I wouldn't doubt Katia could probably come up with some kind of an add-on that you could make this like a functional game, a little event. I didn't get a chance to go to Thade Fest to see the mini golf tournament, but I'm sure she did a fantastic job with that as well. I haven't even taken the time to check out the videos that some people had posted. But yeah, really just about anything. She could probably code up something to make it workable. It may not be exactly as envisioned by others. I mean, like with the soccer game, the Wild Ball, I think people were a little confused at first at how it would be scored, because you use actual combat mechanics to kind of bat the ball around. But the movement is kind of like, because you can't have a smooth animation. It's the same with like the interactables. The animation is more, you know, it's like we see it like one screen every 15 seconds or something, because we can't have that smooth movement. It just, I think it would bog down the system a little bit. But yeah, a very amazing looking Quidditch field here. Trying to get a little closer look at the banners up here. Of course, those are the Chua spotlights. Work nicely for the field. Of course, it's really hard to see because I'm here at night, and that doesn't help any, but yeah, really nice. Notice the teams have different colorings. This one's more the orange bit, and this one's the red, so it's the blue and the red, I guess. But yeah, really, really fantastically done. Okay, the arcade games. I'm not sure where those are located. I assume inside, but I don't know. Not there. Ah, yes, here we go. Various arcade games. So put together, it looks like 3 of them. So you've got the little shooter game. I like that. Kind of hard to tell because if I get close, then the little activate button comes up. But it looks like the Zap pistols that you get. I think it's from what is it? Settler or Explorer or something. One of the paths that unlocks it. Maybe it's Soldier or something. A couple of those, and they're just kind of sunk into the Chewa cups, the holders. But they have these the hanging wires that has them connected to the machine. I think these are detonators that have just been kind of sunk in, so you just see the buttons. This looks like some of the engine parts, and of course the exile display. Usually got that, yeah, it's got that metal bit that always hangs out. And then of course the box itself that it's in is just some Castian floors, a little bit slanted on this part here. This is how most video games are. They got that little bit of a slant one way or the other, and then a little box metal crate for the step up here. I like that one. This one is more like your traditional, got your buttons, your little joystick, and the controller things. Notice they even have the little coin slot, which I believe that's just the top, no, the bottom part of a Dominion fence post. That's the only thing that comes to mind when I see that little slotted grate thing. And the knobs here, the joystick bits, is the tops of the short files, I think. These are the Chewa cups. This is the bottom of a early warning system, the little cage with the dead canary in it. This is, of course, a tablet computer, and then the Marauder display. It's one of the first things I started tinkering with as far as building aquariums. That was pretty funky looking. Instead of Castian floors, this one uses Orin, and then it's got the little Marauder sign, kind of, you know, like a game decal kind of thing. They're really cute, easy to do build. There's not a lot of hard to get items. I think this one would probably be maybe the toughest because I think it's just a random drop. But the rest is either craftable or you can obtain right off the vendor, from what I can remember. And I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. On my main, that doesn't show up when I mouse over, but this one, and nothing I do changes that. I don't know, it's kind of annoying. Here we have a crane game. Everybody's favorite. Got the little crane thing going on. This one's using, I want to say it's one of the, it's either a sensor, what do you call it, a security thing, or one of those funky light posts. I really don't know the names of it, but I think it's the one that's got the like little yellow head that has the green eye on it, being used as the crane. Excuse me. Yeah, the claw. Looks like they won themselves a tablet computer. They've got other things in here besides plushies, all kinds of little treasures, little chests, even a dartboard game, a hat, that kind of stuff. Most of it is the Cassian floors, but they're also using, up here is the travel posters. This is, oh, let me think of, I know it, Charming Bar. Is that what it's called? I want to say Fancy, but I know Fancy's not it. I think it's Charming. It's basically the Dominion looking bar, just for the little emblem here. Um, this is the top of one of the tanks. It's not the Vin tank one, I don't think. It's the fat blue one, I believe. Um, Again, the top of the short file, the detonator, and then a stack of coins. Lots of little travel posters for all this gray bit. I love the posters. I use them for a lot of things. Charming Bar. I hope I'm right. I usually get it wrong because I want to say Fancy, but it's not correct. For these, that's just the Draken pillars. Really fun little deal. It just shows you could come up with just about anything. It doesn't have to be something specific, like it has to be asteroids, or like the one I did with it being Cubert or anything. You can just keep it pretty generic and still get the idea across that it's a game. And most people see this particular shape, the arrangement, and know immediately that it's an arcade game. Okay, so that is it for entity side. Now we're going to move over to Jabbit. So let me switch on my Be Right Back, and I will switch regions here, hopefully fairly quickly. This is a good time to, take a bathroom break or grab a drink, snack a bit, have some breakfast if you haven't already had it. I haven't had mine. I'm planning to eat after this. I imagine most of you have heard the announcement or seen the announcement of next month's month-long celebration of Starfall. I've also seen a lot of people fussing about it, about how it's looking to be executed. I don't know if it's going to be as horrible or as people are projecting, but it's hard not to cringe a little bit at some of the description of it. 5 a.m. Well, that sounds like my usual. But I actually managed to sleep in until about 6:30 this morning. Yay! It's like I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock. But I think I go through that cycle where I have lots of restless nights, either because issues or whatever, or the husband is snoring or what, and then I'll just go through like a night or two where I'm completely dead to the world because I'm just so tired. My body says, hey, you got to catch up on your sleep. We're knocking you out for the long haul. Okay, so we're on Dominion side on Jabbit. This is my alternate version of Melancholy. So we're going to, let's see. I think we only have one home on Dominion side to visit, and that would be Bones's alt, or maybe it's their main, Sir Hunter, looking for the croquet. And yes, there are some amazing bits. Let's see, I don't know where to go. They weren't specific about where it might be, so I'm going to have to hunt. Anyway, I know we're visiting some homes that we haven't toured yet that look amazing, and you're probably wondering, what is it? But we're not here to really look at the plot per se. We're just looking for the CBDC stuff. Figures I'm going to take the long way around because I don't see where the croquet is. It's probably over there by the gazebo. I'm hoping. Get lost out here. Yep, looks like I'm right. Gazebo it is. Just for whatever reason, I don't have it noted down. Even you guys know, I was like, yeah, you're going the wrong way. So here we have the croquet game. Now this again is a sport I've never played, so I really don't know what all the thingies are, but there's these little hooky metal things, like little, not hoops, but little horseshoe bits that are sticking in the ground, and I guess the idea is to hit your ball through each of them. I don't know if you have to get them in a certain order or what, but I think the object is to put it through these two hoops and hit the pole for the opposing side or something. And yeah, you have these little mallets or something, and you hit the ball, and you have to make it through these little obstacles. It looks like what they're using, and if you look at it from, it's like completely disappears. It's the hanging chain, I think. It's just oversized, sunk down, so you only see the last link to make those little UE bits. It's a fun idea to use it like that. For the posts, of course, that's the white fence posts, not the newer ones from the spring decor pack. These are the older, I think it's craftable ones. You can tell because they're kind of bent and haggard looking, so kind of like me. And oh, you guys are talking about the trees. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Looks like for the balls they use what I said is possible using the bottoms of the tall files. I'm looking for the mallets. I guess they're over here. Yep. For the little, I guess it'd be the weapon rack. Just a couple of Oran pillars, a couple of Oran fences to make the little rack there, and then for the mallets themselves, it's skinny waisted barrels, and then the handles of the mops. The barrels work really nice because that's how the mallets look. They just look like those oversized, you know, the squeaky hammers that little kids get or something. That's what they remind me of. Very cute. Dorbs. See, here's a mallet here even, next to the gazebo. I love the gazebo, but I'm trying not to look because I don't want to get distracted. We're just looking at the games. So again, this is another idea if you're looking for something to add to your residence home build, and you don't want to do the usual playgrounds and pools and things like that. Coming up with a yard game, you could even probably make ways of people to actually play it by doing like a slash roll type of thing in a party or something. But it just kind of adds some, I mean, this looks really posh now because this seems like a game that only, you know, the people in the white collared, you know, fancy white shorts and Richie people would play. Doesn't seem like a hoedown kind of backwoods kind of thing. I mean, we would be probably doing, you know, mud bogging in the swamp or something, not playing croquet. Yeah, the mallets, that item, that marriage of the mop handle and the skinny waisted barrels, it just works really, really good. Just knock them, knock the balls. Okay, so that's Sir Hunter for the croquet game, and now we're off to Exile side, which has quite a few. We're going to be there for a while. That's why I kind of saved them for the last. Let me hop on my main. And the first one is going to be Phase, aka I guess that's Katya, otherwise known as Trixie. Excuse me. This is one of those homes that I have on my to be toured list, just haven't gotten around to it. There's too many beautiful homes, and really I shouldn't say too many, there's just so many beautiful homes that I just haven't had a chance to get to all of them. But in due time, it's coming. I love this build up here. Let's see, how do I get up there? Like clutter with meaning. But here we have Phase Hearthstone game that they've put together. Look at this nutso build. This is just crazy cute. Again, it's attention to detail that really sells a lot of these little mini builds. You've got books for the trim around the playing board. Looks to be the bottoms of those, the golden chest lockbox thingy. It's the same one that I use for the backing of the Operation game. For the little portraits of the characters, again, it's the Hugel portrait, and then they've just sandwiched in, they've got the little, looks like a gnome for this one. That's just the, I guess it's the hanging portrait. I forget what it's called, but it's like two different, you can flip it and it looks like there's this like smaller version of the guy, and then you flip it and it's like up close. And skinny waisted barrel for the little bit here. For the cards, of course, they're using the ever popular travel posters. It's a good way to use them and showcase them without really overcrowding your walls with them. This one is using a combination of the travel poster and it's one of the portraits. I don't remember which one it is, but I think it's the one with the guy with the red eye or something in it. I don't know what half of this stuff is. I know that's the skull with antlers. It looks like one of the new toxic waste barrels for the little pool here. I don't know what these are supposed to, I think it's like represents different zones, and I don't remember what ones these are supposed to be. It's like that's like an Osun like drippy tank. Ugh, keep trying to move and I get stuck. These of course are those the white, I guess it's the skug eggs or spider eggs. It's one of the two. Again, those are purchasable off of the vendor. For the little design here, they're using exile walls to make that backing, and for the one over on this side, it's the back side of the tablet computers. A little more bluish aqua. Yeah, I don't know how many pieces. There is a lot though that's going on here. I mean, just for the play table itself, there's like 1, 2. You got all of the books on the edges, the pieces for the emblem backing here. It looks like about 4 each of those. This bit here looks like files for the little, I guess that's the scorekeeper files, and using the bottoms of probably one of the wine bottles for the ones that aren't lit up. So that makes it look like it's lit up and not lit up. It's a very clever way of doing that. My stomach is starting to growl. Trying to see, yeah, see, this one's missing 4. I really don't know. I don't remember how Hearthstone works. It's like you get so much energy or something, and or whatever, and that's how much you can use each turn or something. I've played it in the past, but I'm horrible at those kind of games, so I kind of don't play it anymore. Ugh. I keep trying to jump over there, and I think it's the light that's blocking me. I'm wanting to look here. Yeah, here's like, I guess these are the decks that you start pulling from or something. So again, it's travel posters, and then I think these are those ornate chests. There's like 4 of those to make the little pockets there. It's just a lot of lovely little detail here. 4 chains to kind of hold this floating stone in here. I think that's one of the summoner stones, isn't it? From called? I really don't know. Whoops. For the base of it, it looks to be 2x4s. Same way here, using it as a little table for them to kind of check out their cards. For anyone that's a Hearthstone fan, you know, obviously this is going to really pull some strings because I'm sure it looks pretty close. I'd have to get like a picture and compare just to see. Yeah, I have it on the list. It's probably not, well, I know it's not this week, but it's probably the next time. In fact, let me look. Let me just check. I've got my little queue thing up. Yeah, I think I have it slated down for the next time, so it'll be a couple more weeks. Patience, patience. It's getting there. It's just I have so many listed, and I put them in order of how I come across them and how and then sometimes they move because like if I end up with like 4 or 5, you know, Orin themed ones, I kind of move them around so that we don't have the same stuff every time. So yeah, one of those deals I'm constantly juggling. You know, I'm not purposefully ignoring anybody's plot. It's just I haven't gotten a chance to get around to it yet. And of course, tomorrow I'm doing a couple of retours because there's been some pretty big changes and additions to both of those plots, and they've been patiently waiting on that. So, you know, it's plots that I know that have been modified for a while now, and I'm just now getting to it. So I feel badly because, you know, I probably could expand the tours to, you know, more than once a week, but hesitate to do that because, you know, there might be a surplus now, but later I might start scrimping, you know, struggling to find places because, you know, you guys only have so many alts that you can work on. And a lot of builders prefer to keep the builds that they make and don't want to constantly remake them. So eventually the buildings kind of level out, at least for some of our main builders that we tour a lot now. Unless, I guess, new decor comes out, like with Arctera, and it just kind of spurs a lot of activity, or we have an influx of new players that want to get into it as well, and then I can start showcasing theirs, but I don't want to push my luck. Welcome back, Bones. Glad you could join us. I hope your meeting went okay. Excuse me. Oh, it's mana crystals. Okay, I thought it was something like that. It was some kind of like energy kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a really nice idea. I like how you can show the non-lit up and then the lit up. It looks like little lights, even though they really aren't. Okay, so that is Trixie Bolt, aka Faye, Hearthstone. Next, we were heading to Bucky's place. Donna Troy, Garden of Troy. And this is for a oversized Snakes and Ladders game. And I've never played Snakes and Ladders. I know it's a child's board game. I've heard people reference it plenty of times, so I kind of recognize it, but I don't know the rules and stuff to it. But from what I understand, this is actually playable. They use the slash roll system, and then you can work your way around the board. But this is the Snakes and Ladders. So they've used basically for the little stand that it's on, it's just a giant granite floor, the version with the pattern on it. Gives them a quick and easy way of having it cordoned off into little quadrants, squares. And then drake pillars for all of the bits, including the lighting. I don't know what the pillow is for. I guess that's the start and the end or something. Maybe, like I said, I don't know the game well enough to really tell you. Obviously, there's ladders and there's snakes on here. But here's their little dice. It looks like vent tanks, the bottoms of them, my favorite little dart piece, with combined with the ice rock blocks. Not to be mistaken for the other ice rock blocks. There's two items by that same name. So be aware that if you're using Catius to make a duplicate of the ice rock block, it may give you the other version. There's one that looks like a bluish like chip of ice, and then these are the like white snow blocks. From what I can tell, they both come from the vendor, but they have the same name or something. It's just kind of weird. And as far as I know, they've not corrected that, given one of them a different name. But a really fun way of making dice. Notice they kept it fairly big because the blocks themselves are the type of item that disappears at a certain distance. It makes for frustration for those that have been using them to build actual structures, because even in the larger size, at a certain distance, they just vanish. I don't know the rules of the rendering, but it can be pretty annoying. For the numbers, they've just used lots and lots of bananas. I actually have a little clip, a little image of a banana font, and that's what I use to kind of gauge how I position my bananas. I don't know if that's what they did here too, but you can see it took a lot of bananas. I mean, look, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bananas for the number 3. It's really nice looking, but not practical, especially, well, like, what is it? Is it Z's showcase plot for all of the furniture? They use bananas for the signs, and they've used literally hundreds of them to try and convey specific messages to their visitors, and it's just a big burden. We really desperately need some alphabet and numerical decor that just saves us that trouble. Even better if they can give it to us in different colorings of the letters and numbers, but you know, just start somewhere by giving us that. So yeah, the ladders are, of course, the ladders, and then the snakes are made of, it looks to be mostly orange-styled curved tubes, cylinders, and domes. Did I already say domes? I might have already said domes. To make the snake shape. Green pillows for the eyes, and then for the tongue is little Chua pillows. Very cute idea. Again, I don't know how to play the game, but I'm sure anyone that grew up playing it probably brings a smile to their face to have that revisited. As I said, though, they say that if you use the slash roll to take turns and going across, you can work your way around the board. So it's actually playable. Yeah, I don't know how many bananas that is. There's a lot of them. Even the numbering is weird to me because like it goes from, oh, I guess it's like this way, zigzags across. But yeah, I assume the object is to get from one pillow to the other, I guess. Just seems odd. I guess if you land on the 14, then you snake your way to 27. And if you land on 41, then you fall back down to this one. I guess that's how it works. Is that how it is? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, I don't know. For something as basic as that, I would hope that they wouldn't put that on the cash shop. I know a lot of people say they would be willing to pay for that, same way with other specialized decor, but for something as basic as communication, for letters and numbers, I don't think that belongs on the cash shop, in my opinion. I think that's something, to me, that's a basic building block that everybody should have access to, even beginner builders that are just starting housing. That's my opinion, though. For really specialized, unique items like the I don't know, I guess the panels and flashy animated bits and some of the Fabkins stuff. I don't mind that being on there. It's unfortunate that they are, because like with the spring decor, I would have loved more of the flower beds, the little strips of flowers and grasses and stuff. But I'm just not willing to pay to get multiples of those. Okay, I'll watch out for that. Because yeah, I've never played. I don't know much about the game. I think the thing I grew up with like Hungry Hungry Hippo and Barrel of Monkeys and that kind of stuff. That's all I remember. Well, we played a lot of Monopoly and things like that. But okay, so that was Bucky.